Hi, welcome to SPF Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is part 2 of Into the Weekend with BetDSI, the call we do every week with Brent, the headlines manager at DSI Sportsbook. And we normally do our calls with Brent on Thursday afternoon, but according to Brent, the NFL action was dead on Thursday, so we decided to put it off one day to Friday afternoon. We'll see if anything's changed. Brent, thanks for being back with us.
Good to be back with you.
So the NFL action is dead this week, huh?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay, so one day made the difference.
We flipped the switch, and I got a ton of information and a ton of volume. I guess things just, like overnight, we saw a lot of stuff come in, and even today, I guess people are just trying to kind of getting a figure on the NFL and who's, And the thing, too, is now's the time where you kind of get a better read on injuries and stuff like that, who's in and who's out. That might have been a little bit. But, I mean, if you look at the slate, it's a really good weekend of matchups. So
yeah.
I was surprised that it was dead, but it picked up quite a bit recently, Peter.
Yeah, so very quickly, before we get into these games, all the action that came in, was it public action, sharp action, or both?
Both. Yeah,
okay.
I got a whole lot of everything there. I mean, take a look at the matchups. I mean, even the spreads that are like, one of the higher ones is like Denver at Dallas,
right.
at 7.5 there,
right.
with Denver being fair. It's still a good matchup on paper.
Right.
You get ugly teams like Carolina, Arizona. The spread there is 1. It's still a good matchup.
Right. All right, well, the Denver game was the first game that I wanted to ask you about. Looking at it, I'm assuming public is all over Denver, both on the spread and on the teaser line, right?
You think they might want the over too, Peter?
Yeah, and the over, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're actually swamped with Denver money,
right.
teaser money, over money. It's everything. I mean, so far it's pretty much all public money. The counts, it's almost like 10-1 in favor of Denver, and on the total, it's basically the same number. It's about 10-1. That's just a flood of money on Denver and the over.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the easiest prediction of the year, that the public would be all over Denver in this one. But, when you see a home dog with a quality team like Dallas getting 7 or 7.5, that's the kind of line that you would think that the sharps might be attracted to. But then again, I could see the sharps being like, no, this is like sometimes they are with like Alabama in college. Like, this is a game where the sharps maybe agree with the public. Have you gotten any sharp action on this line at all?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not on this one. It's all just one-sided on Denver. Again, it's a case where sometimes you think maybe are they waiting to see how line that goes or
right.
or what. But who knows? They might be sitting back and waiting or not. We'll find out closer to game time. But as of right now, it's all public money on Denver, all public money on the over, Peter.
All right, and then the other huge matchup of the week, Seattle at Indianapolis, a very competitive line. My guess is that you're getting huge public action on this game that's split. As far as the sharp action, I'm not exactly sure. I would guess probably very, very small sharp action that's also split.
Yeah, I mean, I've got mostly public action on this, and it's pretty much split. I mean,
right.
our count is off by like 10 bets overall, which is just
right.
insane to be that even on a game like this. But because there's been a lot of action, a little bit of sharp money on the over 43. We're sitting at 44 right now, so I guess the sharps were thinking that Indianapolis will be able to put up some points against Seattle. And obviously, Seattle's defense is strong, their offense is strong, and they've done really well on the road so far as well. So that doesn't surprise me. They've come in a little bit sharp on the 2.5 with Seattle. When they took Indianapolis, it was plus the 3 buying a point, but a lot of public money as well on Indianapolis, the home dog.
And then the Jacksonville-St. Louis game. This is a game that, a lot of people are sort of laughing at, wondering about. First of all, I'm wondering if the public's touching either side, and I'm sort of expecting you to say that maybe you did get some notable sharp action on Jacksonville plus 11.5.
Well, you would be expecting correct that, Peter.
Yes.
Yeah, I have had sharp money on Jacksonville plus 11.5, mostly public money all over St. Louis that counts more than 2-1 in favor of St. Louis. So this is one of those games that we look for where you've got sharps on one side, public all over the other side, and that's the case here, as well as the teasers, Peter. They're all over St. Louis, teasing them like on 10.5 point teasers all the way down to 1 and 1.5.
All right, so there's a sharp public split on this one, and the public's actually taking St. Louis as a double-digit favorite. Interesting. All right, then the only other game that I want to ask you specifically about, Houston at San Francisco. Now, San Francisco opened around 7, or the line hit 7, and I would have assumed that at that point, sharps would come in on Houston plus 7. How would the public react to this? I really don't know, because obviously San Francisco, high-profile team, coming off a big bounce-back win, but then again, maybe the public still has, their games from 2 and 3 weeks ago where they couldn't even get into double-digit scoring. So I have no idea how the public might be betting this, if they're betting it at all.
Yeah, actually, we're quite split on this game, and I have had sharp money on this game. Surprisingly, it's around where the line is right now. The line dropped all the way down to 5, and the sharps came in at 5. They've actually laid 5.5 as well. We're sitting at 6 right now. The money's favoring San Francisco now because again the sharps usually play a little heavier dollar volume, but the count is pretty much even. So most of the Houston money has been public money, a little smaller per bet, and the sharp money on San Francisco at 5 and 5.5.
Wow, so the Sharps didn't take Houston at +7. The movement was caused by big public money?
Yeah, it was mostly public money, and again, you can get a quick reaction to a public guy who just has, as Peter says, oil money coming in on Houston there.
Right.
And of course, oil money from Houston would be no surprise. But yeah, it was mostly public money that took the +7, which is kind of way. You just kind of have to find your way with the line sometimes. You take a couple of bets at one side, and then, okay, you're down to 6.5. You get down all the way down to 5. Okay, they're playing San Francisco. So you find your middle ground. Right now, we're San Francisco -6. And again, we're balanced in terms of our count, but we're a little heavy on the dollar money because the sharp money was betting San Francisco.
All right, there you have it. Sharps coming in on San Francisco at 5 and 5.5. Oil money backing Houston as usual. And then the rest of the card, like we said, a lot of close competitive lines, near pick'em, 1-2-point underdogs. What can you tell us about notable action from the rest of the card?
Well, unfortunately, I've got sharp money on the Detroit Green Bay total, and of course the sharp money. It's unfortunate because the sharp money went over 52.
Yep.
I'm sitting at 53.5 right now, and of course a game like this, Detroit and Green Bay, you don't have to be a genie to figure that the public is going to be betting the over.
Yep.
And the counts, it's more than 10-1 on the over. And again, the sharps got the number at 52. The public's been laying it since it's 53 and 53.5. I'm still at 53.5. Absolutely no money on the under at all, Peter. So it's a scary game for us when the sharps and public on the same side of a total like this. It seems like you just can't go high enough. Just other than that, I mean, there's been just a ton of really good volume for us. We talked about the matchups earlier on in the program that are really good on paper. New England at Cincinnati is great for us. Even Detroit Green Bay with the line 7, it's like a really good number to balance action. New Orleans, Chicago, same thing. Where I do have another sharp public split though is with the Giants and Philadelphia. Giants are at home to Philadelphia. I've got public all over Philadelphia. The count there is about 2-1, and I've got sharp money on the Giants. Now the Giants, they mostly were laying the money line when it was like 115 and 120. So if people are looking for the Giants, I guess, to get their first win of the season, they're at home. And San Diego Oakland is another game where we've got the public and sharp split. Again, the public has kind of jumped on San Diego the way they've come out of the gate, and the sharps are on Oakland taking them +5.5.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all. I previewed this game with Scott Kellen. That's exactly what we talked about. I said, Scott Kellen, you're a sharp. I know where the sharps are going to be on this game. They're going to be on Oakland, but I can't do it. He was like, yep, he likes Oakland. I said, I just still cannot do it. I guess that proves definitively that I'm a square. So the sharp public split between San Diego and Oakland. Is that all the interesting action you've seen so far?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything looks really good. I mean, the teasers so far this week, we've actually had a ton of teaser money on Kansas City, so that's mostly public money, of course, playing Kansas City to like +3 and +7 on the big teasers. St. Louis, as I touched on, was a big teaser team, and the Patriots as well tease a lot this weekend, Peter.
But everything else is basically a big action and split.
Big action, split. Looks like we're going to have a good weekend for a change.
Yeah. All right. sounds like a good week. So the books are getting a big split action, which means they'll probably do well. And anyone looking to tail some sharps, there's a decent amount of notable sharp sides this week as well. Thanks so much, Brent. Talk to you again next week.
All right. Talk to you later, Peter.